I hear, gentlemen, our old friend and former colleague Ray Stubbs, who used to present the snooker here with us, has been a bit under the weather recently, laid up in hospital right now, and I think on behalf of us all, we all want to say get well soon, Stubbsy.
Yes, absolutely echo that, Hazel. Did a lot of work on the snooker here over the years, did Ray, and we wish you well. Not the best break-off from Stephen Hendry. The old rhyme, when breaking off, whatever you do, don't catch the blue. And that's what he's done, and left a mid-range pot now for Stuart. I was talking to Stuart Bingham last season, he was really looking forward to this. I'm disappointed he missed that. Turned professional, Stuart, in 1995, and the only time these two players have ever met was in the Crucible Theatre,
switch down your earpiece, please?
When he shocked everybody by beating Stephen Hendry. They've never played since.
Yeah, that was on the first day when Stephen was champion as well, to make it even more of an achievement. Strange though, isn't it? Because it is roles reversed in that that man on screen is the seeded player, and Stephen's had to qualify. And I thought Stephen played well enough in his qualifier as well. There's a lot of decent Chinese players coming through. And he beat a player called Yu Delu, who'd had some good run of wins up to that match. Hendry was too good for him on the day. Over 2 days, actually, that match in particular. So good to see him back here. What a shot. Well, that's as well as you see anyone hit a ball all the way through this championship. Beautifully struck.
Yes, and if there was one thing that everybody questions
6
with the Stephen Hendry of today and the one of yesterday was his long potting, and that long pot to get him in here will be a confidence booster. Just about on this red, but he can't play for the black because he's not available into the left corner, so he's going to have to try and manoeuvre the cue ball back up for the blue, you would have thought. No, he missed it, and because he missed it, he caught the other red and went in off. And we're talking about two experienced players here. Spare a thought for the referee. Su Ying is refereeing her first ever match at the Crucible Theatre. So what a day for that young lady.
He's looking at the pot here. The cue ball got to find a way out of where the reds are somehow. It was a natural to get away from the reds up to the middle pocket, but he didn't get very close to the pot. I'm sure Stephen will be nervous though, John, despite all his history here. This is another day, and the fact that he's had to qualify, he doesn't play quite so many matches under this kind of pressure now, so I'm sure he'll be a bit jittery, as you'd hope. It almost would be unnatural if he wasn't nervous.
Yeah, I think when you get to the stage of Stephen's career, it's like you're never certain how you're going to play, and that's what gets you on edge. Am I going to hit the ball well today? You know, whereas in the 90s it was just a given. He was going to come out and he was going to cue well and he was going to play well. Now I think he just turns up and hoping that all the hard work and practice he has put in comes to fruition. Snookered on all the reds. He slipped past the intended red. That was the one he went to hit now. Has he left anything? Lucky if he hasn't.
Yeah, it was quite a big target the side of the pack there, which Stewart slid past. Fred just about goes. I wonder if it can get onto the black into the same pocket. I think it goes now. It's half a chance. That'll do. Stephen's preparation has been different this week. He qualified at the weekend, and he's been in China. Came back from China on Thursday evening. That's an unusual preparation, one I don't think he would have taken on a few years ago, but maybe that'll help him to relax, just taking his mind off this match, being away. Spoke to his dad, Gordon, about it, and he said, well, look, you know, sitting in first class on an aeroplane,
8.
it's not that bad, is it? And he looks pretty fresh today.
Nine.
Slight misjudgment there. I mean, if he was going to run into the second red and knew it, maybe he should have played at a bit more pace to bring the cue ball round off 2 cushions. Oh, terrible kick. The black just went straight on. Dear me. Just watch the black. Straight on it went. And you get that the first day of any major tournament, mainly because the doors are open while the people are getting the venue ready and get a bit of dampness in the air. I know we've got the under-table heaters, but it can sometimes be affected, as Zhu Ying has the delicate job of replacing the cue ball. Steady hand.
And that was a tester for any referee, that one, wasn't it? Very intricate in there. She did a good job. That kick, I've never seen one straighten up quite like that for a long time. It was a horrible contact. We don't want it, all of that in this championship. I mean, the shot he played before was a bad one, but the miss was not his fault at all on the black. I mean, this is... It's gone straight on, hasn't it? It's a terrible, terrible one.
1.
In the end, resorted to the red to the left middle. He had one to the left corner, but he was hampered. He could never get really good on the colour. It was a tough blue, and of course, what happens at the Crucible, just as he's about to play that big shot, applause from the other side of the wall. And you've got to have 100% concentration on every shot here. There it is. That's the atmosphere we talk about. Unique.
Yeah, talking about the wall, I was wondering actually, John, whether it was going to stay up this year, because a lot of other venues have knocked them down. I'm not sure if it would work here. It's very intimate in there, not much room. But, say, 1 or 2 other venues have decided to do away with all of that.
Yeah, I think particularly in this arena, I think the tables are a bit too close together to... I mean, you'd have other players, if they were both on the same side, nearly touching one another. I don't think you could have that. And I like the wall.
I guess it's all part, John, of keeping everything as it is at the Crucible. Other tournaments, there's been many changes made, but you almost kind of want this tournament to stay exactly how it is. And he's held for the black.
6.
And this wouldn't go down as an easy shot he's taking on here.
No. But he had no hesitation in playing for it, but this is missable. But no problem. Right in the heart of the pocket.
13. 14.
Well, I suppose he's rolled the black along that cushion. Will he play on the red in the same way, or will he try and develop them? I don't think the shot is on to go into the pack. So he's thinking that maybe they're not playing that difficult down that cushion. It's all about getting the angle right. And
21.
once again, he looks to be A1 on this. Just to drop it in. He overcut it though.
Stephen Hendry, 21.
I guess it's never been an easy shot to put the ball down a cushion. I thought he'd get it though, I have to say.
Yeah, but particularly when they're just off the cushion. If it had been tight to the cushion, I wouldn't have fancied him missing it, but
1.
just off the cushion. And now here's a chance for Stuart. He's got a perfect angle on this black to cannon into that cluster. Just not really got going yet. He's not had a clear-cut chance, but if he pots this black and opens these reds nicely, this could be a frame winner.
Well, I think he's played that as well as he could. Got the
8.
screw on it, and the cue ball didn't drift too far down the table. He's left himself a mid-range red. And that was a little bit like the blue that he missed, which of course was more difficult, but he kind of didn't really get through it and really accelerate through the ball, and you tend to overcut balls when that happens. Just a bit nervous, isn't he?
At the moment, I think more than a bit.
Well, that's a nice shot, and with the cue ball just drifting a bit to the side cushion, but it never touched the sides, this. He's got a slight angle on the black, which is in his favour. Just get the cue ball up the table. Yeah, that's all right. That's a decent shot, as long as he gets a little lucky. Yeah, then.
8.
He didn't actually pop the black into the middle of the pocket. He potted it on the thick side, so the cue ball didn't go up past the pink as he would have hoped. So it looks like end of break. Red won't pass the other one to the right middle. Was he looking at the two-ball plant? That would be incredibly difficult. He just got to play the runaway, and he can't really play safe to the bulk end with the red just past the right middle. It would have to be a very accurate safety shot if he did play it. I think he's looking at this two-ball plant, but maybe to get the cue ball back down towards the black. Very difficult shot. He does play it. Such a distance between the two reds here. Yeah, I think he had the cue ball in mind there as much as the pot.
Seems to be an easy shot here for Stuart. Two reds in between the pink and black. Just roll to the left-hand one, dead weight, shouldn't leave anything. Because at the moment he's got to be very careful. He can't just return to this balk end. There's a danger of leaving that red to the right middle. As Neil mentioned when Stephen was playing his safeties, you can't just go up to the other end of the table. Decided he could cover that red near the right middle with the two reds in the centre of the table, and he looks as though he's